So you guys know PirateSoftware. He's had a lot of drama around him. Some valid, some not valid. But people have been wanting me to watch this, so let's take a look at I literally never talk about Blizzard. PirateSoftware never talks about Blizzard, the supercut.
I was watching a video that was critiquing you for mentioning you work at Blizzard so much. I literally never talk about it. When I worked at Blizzard, I did that for Blizzard. Blizzard, 7 years, yeah. Blizzard. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. Used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. You're red team specialist for Blizzard Entertainment. And Blizzard is having worked at Blizzard. I grew up at Blizzard. Blizzard game industry.
I grew up at Blizzard. I used to work in the AAA game industry for Blizzard Entertainment is literally the email.
For Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard. Yeah, no, I worked at Blizzard back when I used to work at Blizzard, when I was at Blizzard. For those who don't understand, like, I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. I know how to do that because I worked at Blizzard. Example of this when I was at Blizzard. How do you know so many things? I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. I don't think I'm better than other people. I do think that it's funny because you key on that. There's a lot of people that brought that up. And it's like, I never said that I was. I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting, when in reality I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase.
Sure.
This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality it's this.
Damn. The doctor's laying it.
Yeah. That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro.
I actually am the first second-generation Blizzard employee.
What the... Wait. What the fuck is the first, second generation... Wait.
Bro.
I actually am the first second-generation Blizzard employee.
The first, second generation. So your dad was first gen and you're second gen. Would that make your son third gen? Is that what he's saying? I'm pretty sure that's what he's saying.
I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee ever. The first second-generation Blizzard employee. First second-generation Blizzard employee. So I'm second-generation Blizzard. I'm the first second-generation Blizzard employee that ever existed in the company. I'm also a second-generation Blizzard employee. I was a second-generation Blizzard employee. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee ever. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee. And I love that shit. I love that company. Working for Blizzard sucked, and I work at Blizzard. Or I worked at Blizzard. There's me eating a sandwich. Yeah, that was actually at Blizzard. I think it was my first, I think it was 2009. It was me picking a safe. It was me cracking a safe in, at Blizzard.
The fucking ending. This is me cracking a safe at Blizzard.
Your Blizzard stories are fake? Which Blizzard story do you think is fake? Would you like to talk to me or my dad that worked at Blizzard for 23 years that's currently in chat? Which one do you...
You know what? I want somebody to do this for me, but with Classic Plus. I want to make a video saying I never talk about Classic Plus, and I want somebody to have every time I talk about Classic Plus. But goddamn, chat, I think he worked at Blizzard at some point. I think he worked at Blizzard. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.